to the planet right now. We're live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, we're live on Twitter. And so, yeah, if you want to see the live broadcast, go to one of those, go to my channel on any of those platforms, and yeah, you can watch me live. But don't worry, I always record my live broadcasts, so you can catch up if you're not able to watch it now. So today, many people are asking me, what are the different types of septic tanks on the market? So this broadcast is entitled The Evolution of Septic Tanks. All right, so here we go. And so I'm just going to show you 4 tanks today. A septic tank is a septic tank is a septic tank. And I've covered how they work in another broadcast. In fact, though, yeah, I've covered those in other broadcasts, so I don't want to muddy the water today. So listen, let me just get straight into this and show you the 4 basic types of septic tanks that there are for sale today. All right, so let's start with this one. Here we go. Now, these are just models that I've made up. So yes, the pipe isn't going anywhere. It would normally go to a soakaway. Okay, so but because this is just a model on a platform, it's just, I'm just giving you the idea. Okay, so this is typically what the septic tanks in America look like. And up to 20 years ago, most septic tanks in this country were concrete septic tanks, and they basically look like that. Yeah, so they're basically rectangular in shape. Some have 1 lid, some have 2 lids, and basically that's what they look like. Personally, I don't think you can beat the concrete septic tank because they're built like an Anderson shelter. If you've never heard of an Anderson shelter, well, they're the shelters that people put in the bottom of the garden to protect them from bombs and stuff like that, you know, coming over from Germany and stuff like that. But you can still buy concrete septic tanks. I think they're fantastic. They don't need concreting in, obviously, because they're made of concrete. The concrete septic tanks you can buy normally come on a big, massive Arctic wagon, and you can offload them in 2 halves, but they last forever. Yes, they're probably 2 to 3 times more than a fiberglass or a plastic septic tank. But for me, oh man, they're the best. They're the original and the best. And concrete septic tanks literally started going in, I would say, typically 1930s, 1940s, and started to disappear in the UK in the early 80s. Why? Because of this little baby. All right, let me show you this. So this is called the evolution of septic tanks, remember? Now, in the 1980s, this septic tank became very, very, very popular. It's called the onion-shaped septic tank because it looks, I suppose, like an onion. I suppose to me it looks more like an upside-down light bulb more than anything else, but there you have it. That's an onion-style septic tank. You can still buy them today. They're not as popular as they used to be, but nevertheless, they're popular for many reasons. People buy them because they're cheap to buy compared to a concrete septic tank and a plastic tank, which we're going to look at in a minute. But don't be fooled by the onion-shaped septic tanks. They were very popular because there was nothing like them on the scene in the 80s. It was either concrete or concrete or concrete. So when Clargester brought these onion-style septic tanks out, everyone went mad for them. The pros are they're cheap to buy. The cons are they're very big, bulbous things. So it takes you 3 times as long to install these tanks, and you've got to put them a concrete blanket around them. So although you'll save 200 to 300 quid buying an onion tank, in reality it's going to cost you 600, 700, 800 quid in concreting costs, and you've got to get a bigger digger, and they take 3 times as long to put in. So in reality, you're not saving money anymore, right? So again, as I said, this is called the evolution of septic tanks. We started with the concrete one in the 80s, right? This was the benchmark, but this technology has now replaced this with the bullet-shaped septic tank. Now look at that. These are gorgeous. Technology has just moved on so much. All right. I love these bullet-shaped septic tanks. I love them. Why? Because, look, they're really, really shallow. They're half the height of an onion-shaped septic tank. They are not made of fiberglass. They're made from heavy-duty rotor-molded or injection high injection pressing kind of moldings, right? Which means that basically you can hit them with a sledgehammer and the sledgehammer will just bounce off them. They're just so robust. They've got like a rib design, so they don't need concreting in. You can just backfill with some shingle, literally, or some sand, right? In some cases, people put them in and don't even backfill with sand or shingle. I'm not recommending you do that, but nevertheless, some people do that and they get away with it. They're fantastic because you can get them in less than an hour. It's nuts, right? It takes about 40 minutes to dig the hole. You put your tank in, and do you know what's also amazing about these? The soakaway can literally start a foot below the grass. If you look at the onion tanks here, the onion tanks, they're another con. They're not a con. What I mean is another disadvantage, right, with the onion tanks is that you've got to start the soakaway at least 1 meter or 3 foot below the grass, which is, once you start getting below 1 or 2 foot below the grass, you get a lot of resistance with clay and stuff like that. And so, you're going to spend twice as much on a soakaway for an onion tank than you are for a low profile tank, because they're just so much nearer the grass, and they're so much nearer the topsoil, and the soakaways just drain away and soak away better. So that is where technology is now. This is I don't know if this can be beaten, to be honest. It's kind of reached its kind of the pinnacle, you know, but they're fantastic. And can you see there, look, it's even got a lifting eye. So fantastic. If you're after a septic tank, this is no sales pitch. Get yourself a shallow dig bullet tank, full stop, period. You'll never ever go back to an onion tank again, right? And last but not least, just recently, right, we also released the cube septic tank. Look at that. That's nuts, isn't it? The cube septic tank. This is a non-domestic septic tank, right? That's ideal for for stables, for mobile homes, for workshops, for outhouses. And oh man, they're just so easy to install. They're one of my most popular selling septic tank for that reason. You can lift them on their own. They come in a steel cage. Again, you can backfill them with sand or concrete. And again, look how shallow the soakaway is in there. In fact, because it's a non-domestic septic tank, you don't need all the rules and the regulations that, you know, that you have to have with a domestic septic tank. So you can put like a soakaway pit to this, and oh man. But the point is, so if I was to name this broadcast is the evolution of septic tanks, right? So there, I would say that is my favorite. Okay, yes, it may be heavy, it may cost a lot of money, but they're bomb-proof, right? They're bomb-proof and they last forever. They're the best. You can't beat them, right? They're the Rolls-Royce of septic tanks. But if you're on a budget and you want to install it in an hour, then this is second best, if not equal first, with the concrete septic tank. This is oh man, this is the second strongest tank out there. And then for me personally, I love these cube-shaped septic tanks because they're just oh man, they're just bite-sized, small, compact, miniature septic tanks that are ideal for almost any situation. And then Again, I'm not demonizing the onion septic tank, but it's had its day. In my eyes, it's had its day. It's just it was great in its time, but technology has moved on, and so so there you go. That is my little evolution of septic tanks. So thank you very, very much for watching my broadcast today. I was going to show you one more thing. Oh yeah, I know what I was going to show you. Let me just get this up before I go. Okay, so look, if you want to see any of these tanks in the flesh, there you go. Just go to septictank.co.uk. I've been doing this for 20 years. I only sell products that are easy to install and that people never ring me back up and complain about, right? You know, in all the years I've been selling the bullet septic tank and the cube septic tanks, they're just problem-free, worry-free, stress-free septic tanks. They do what they say on the tin. You put it in and forget about it, and it's your great grandkids who will be digging up the system in 100 years time to put whatever the newest kind of septic tank is back then. But look, if you want to see more information on these septic tanks, and as I said, just go to septictank.co.uk. I've done loads more videos for you that you can see, that you can watch, and it's got different information on there. And there's even soakaways that can connect to these low profile tanks, but that's a video for another day, because I'm going to show you tomorrow, maybe even later, the evolution of soakaways. Okay, so septic tanks have evolved, and so have soakaways. But listen, thank you very, very much for taking the time to watch my live broadcast. As I said, my name's Jason from septictank.co.uk. You want to see more information? You want to see hundreds of more live broadcasts that I've done, just go to YouTube, my channel on YouTube, or facebook.com/septic tank company, or twitter.com/septictank.co.uk. But look, thank you very much for taking the time out to watch me today, and I'll speak to you soon.